Okay, so I turned on an inside light here because the backlight outside is so bright. But what I wanted to show is I take these pothos cuttings when the stems are anywhere from a foot to 2 feet long. And I just cut up here anything that's hanging down. You can take a cutting from a 6-inch stem or longer. And we just pull these off. We've got a few here, probably we'll take one more. So we've got some cut-ins here, and we're going to go out to the kitchen. Okay, so pothos are the easiest indoor plant in the world to propagate. I started with one plant. I probably have 10, I don't know, at least 10 by now. So what we do is you cut up your stems off of your existing plant, and then cut 2 or 3 or 4 of the leaves off, and then these will eventually go down into this tall, I use a tall Folgers can, but you can put some water in there, and then you can just start laying those in, and we just jam as many of them in there as you want, as you have. And fill that all the way up with water. They want to float out at first. So sometimes what I'll do, just to get it started, is I'll take a leaf and latch it over on the inside of the lip of this coffee can, and then they'll kind of start to stay in there. But you just go through your cut stems, cut these off as close to the, cut your leaves off as close to the stem as you can. Again, about 3-4 leaves, and just stick it down in the water. This is how easy it is to grow these things. And the more cuttings that you take, the more stems that you cut, then the thicker your next plant will be, and then the more cuttings stem cuttings you'll be able to take off of that. So trust me, it gets out of hand real quick, and pretty soon you'll be giving these things away to people because you just don't have room for all of them. But they're great gifts, and they're easy to grow. People love them. Now, if you get a hard kind of a woody stem like that on the end, just cut that off to where it gets back to be a little fresher, a little softer stalk, and then go ahead and cut those and just stick it down in the water. Again, you might have to put a leaf or 2 in there just to keep it from, they want to kind of float out sometimes. What you can do is just leave it empty too, until see, this one's so tiny, I'm not even going to mess with it. I might mess with it in a small jar, small glass or something. But for the most part, most of the cuttings that I take, the stems that I cut off are usually at least a foot long. It's another woody, kind of a woody stalk. They don't grow off that well. They don't start that well. I've found I just kind of try to avoid them. Get some softer, suppler stem, and then just, if you got little ones like this, just stick them over on the edge here. That way they won't get shoved all the way down in. Okay, so we're almost done here. Just finishing up. And it's getting, the coffee can is getting pretty crowded. We've got about 3 or 4 more stems to trim up here. But we get these done up. And then once they're done, then you just put them in a nice spot where they can get a little bit of sunshine. They don't need too much, but just so they're not in the dark, not in bright direct sunlight. And then let them set for about a month, and then you can check, see if the root ball is starting to develop. And once those roots start coming out, then you can go ahead and find a pot and then pot them in with some good potting soil. Okay, well, it's October 24th and I'm repotting my pothos. As you can see, it's snowy outside, and down here is these are my cuttings, my pothos cuttings, and that's my black gold potting mix, and right up here is where we're going to be doing the work. Now what we're going to do is pull this big wet ball of roots out and put that in there. You can see all the roots that have grown out of the cuttings. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to put these all in like this, okay? It's all going to go in here. And you should see what we've got here, this root ball. And what we're going to do is kind of spread that out just a little bit and smush it down, push it down a little, and then we're going to start working this potting soil in around it. Just take your fingers, and just dig them down, push them down in, and then we'll flip this ball of pothos over to the other side. Take our little pan, grab another scoop of potting soil. I only use black gold, I gotta say. It is the perfect mixture for most plants. You see how I'm just kind of taking my fingers and just kind of pushing that down, pushing that potting soil down into that root ball. Man, we'll go ahead and fill it up again. We'll fill it up on this side, and then we're going to flip it back over again. Turn this back around. And we'll fill it up on the other side again. Push all that down in there. Like so. You can kind of shake the pot a little bit. I don't know if it's picking that up, I guess it is. Shake that pot. Make sure that potting soil gets down there into those roots. Now we're going to take some water and we're going to give it a good soaking. Okay, so I got my Folgers coffee can all filled up with water, and we're just going to drench that, let it seep in, and we'll give it another. I want to put enough water in there so that it kind of is superfluous. superfluid. Yeah, forget my vocabulary. Anyhow, you want the soil mixture almost liquefied, and then shake it a little bit. Really want to get that potting soil in around all of the root ball. So then after this takes hold in the dirt, in the potting soil mix, then we'll just kind of pull all these out and let them plop down around. We'll have a real nice pothos plant. See if we can show where we're going here. So we're gonna set it right down here, and then okay, so here's our little hanger. Came with the pot. We just snap that on the right spot. And there we go.